Hi, this is Carolyn. My daughter has talked me into recording making cabbage steaks. It's something she really loves, and she has begged me to please record this. So here it goes. So the first thing I did was you take a whole cabbage, and you don't want a really large one because that's a little bit difficult to deal with. And I peeled some of it off and got down to, you know, the cleaner part of it, the more white part. And then I cut a little bit of this off. I'm gonna cut just a little bit more. But you wanna leave that core in there because that'll keep the cabbage steaks together. Then you're going to take, and I'm gonna try to get about 4 steaks out of this cabbage. So I'm gonna slice just a little piece though off right here of that to get that. And then I'm gonna go into the cabbage steak and slice it up. And sometimes if it's too hard and too big, because I don't have very strong arms, I've actually used an electric knife. So just however you can get it to slice. As you can see, I didn't think you needed to see me cut every single steak, but you saw me cut the first one, and you can see now I've got all these little steaks cut. What I did was I took this and, well, first of all, I used some parchment paper. Now you could use foil or parchment paper. I just prefer parchment paper. And I sprayed a little bit of this on it, even though it doesn't really stick on the parchment paper. And I sprayed some of this on the bottom side. This, I use canola oil for cooking spray. I sprayed some of that on the bottom side of the steaks. So now, here's the thing about today. Because we're in the middle of all this coronavirus, I cannot just run to the grocery store when I'm out of an ingredient. And I'm out of some ingredients that I needed to cook these steaks. So I'm gonna have to change it up a little bit and make do. What I normally do is I get the garlic that comes in the little jar or the garlic paste, and I put that on it, but I don't have that. So I'm not gonna be able to use that. So instead I was trying to think of what else to use. And I decided I would use a little onion and some garlic powder. And another thing that I didn't have was, you see, I'm about out of olive oil. And you need olive oil to put on this. So I melted a little bit of butter. And I'm just gonna put what olive oil I have in there as well. And use that. And then I also am gonna squeeze a little bit of lemon juice, just trying to give it some flavor on each one. So it's all about flavor. You want to try to figure out ways to make it flavorful. And so I'm going to take my olive oil and butter mixture, and I'm going to take it and just put it all on there. You know, something else that would be good would be paprika. So again, I don't have any paprika, so can't put that on there tonight. But that would have been good. And I saw somewhere where people like to use that smoked paprika. I've never used that, but I'd like to try it. I think that sounds delicious. Okay, you don't want to put a ton of this on there or it'll just taste too greasy. So I got all that on there, and I love to use kosher salt on it. So I take kosher salt in my hand and I put some of that on each one. Okay, and then I'm going to put the garlic powder, since I don't have any other type of garlic. And then I like to do the cracked pepper on each one. Okay, and then I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of this onion on it, and maybe the onion will kind of take the place of the garlic. And you know, if you really like spicy stuff, onion and garlic together probably would have been really good. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of that on it. Okay, now I'm gonna put this in the oven, and I'm gonna cook it on 425 for about 40 minutes. But in about 30 minutes, I'm gonna take it out, and I'm cooking some bacon, but I'm not cooking it all the way. I'm just gonna cook it most of the way so it'll be easy to tear up. And I'm gonna put that on there, on top of it. And then I'm also going to use some Parmesan cheese. And I'm going to sprinkle that on it towards the end and just let it cook for the last 10 minutes. So I think then we'll have a delicious meal. So I have been cooking it in the oven for about 30 minutes. And as you see, it's starting to look nice and crispy. And so now I'm going to put on the Parmesan cheese. Now if you like just a real cheesy cheese to it, you could even put on any type of shredded cheese that you like, mozzarella or just like that Mexican cheese that's different types of cheeses in it. You could do anything like that. Now I was going to put the bacon on it, but when I was fixing all this, I accidentally overcooked the bacon, or not overcooked it, but cooked it all the way. So I've decided to just sprinkle that on it once we get ready to eat it. If you've never cooked bacon the way I did, what I did was I put it in a tray like this with the parchment paper, and it just cooked right up. I left one hole so you could kind of see. It just is a great way to cook bacon. My son-in-law, Mike, showed me how to do that several years ago, and I've been doing that ever since. So now I'm going to put this back in with Parmesan cheese, and I'm going to cook it another 10 minutes, and then it'll be ready. And did you know that Parmesan cheese is a great substitute for salt? This is what one looks like after it's nice and cooked. I'm going to put it on the plate here, and then I'm just going to sprinkle some of this bacon. And I think that's all we need, and it'll be great. And you can see it's just nice and tender.
Mm-hmm. Yummy.